Morning, everybody. Hope you're all doing well and in good spirits. If you're not into the Bible thumping videos, you might as well just click in right now. I'm going to react to a recent interview I saw of Kanye West. Now, I don't like Kanye. He's always been like just this toxic person to me, an attention whore that seemed to have completely different energy than me. And so if he came across my feed through World Star Hip Hop or something, I would just block him so I don't have to listen to him. But right now it's kind of hard to miss him because of all the controversy. And so the news this morning, as I was clicking through it, showed that he had apologized to the black community for his George Floyd comments. And as part of that, he kept saying that God was humbling him and that God is working with him. And he just kept invoking God. And to the best of my understanding, when he invokes God, he's speaking of a Christian Judeo God. If I'm wrong, then this is a moot point. And this is not to say my God is better than your God. I'm just saying if he's talking about the same God that I think he's talking about, he's wrong in his comments, and that's blasphemous and could missteer people. So I felt a need to call it out. During his apology, he says that he keeps invoking God and God's humbling him. And he says, God runs this world. And yeah, God even runs Hollywood. And I reacted strongly to that because it's my belief the overwhelming message in the Bible is that Satan runs this world. This is Satan's world. And as proof of that, when Jesus went up to the mountain to fast by himself, I think for 40 days and 40 nights, that might have been the flood. I'm not a Bible scholar, but he was out there fasting for a long time. And during that time, Satan appeared to him and asked him to render an act of worship. Bow down to me, join, come to the dark side. And Jesus is like, nah, I'm cool. And so Satan's like, all right, man, I'll hook you up with all this. And Jesus is like, no. And so Satan says, I'll give you all the kingdoms of earth. Meaning the kingdoms of our earth are mine to give to you. Jesus never said those aren't yours, those are God's. So the implication there is that Satan runs this world, all of it. And that's the message in the Bible. That is why wars exist, famines, disease, crime, all the horrible things that people do to each other and animals and the environment exist because Satan runs this world according to the Bible. If you behave and you prove yourself worthy, then you will get to live in a world ruled by God where there is no suffering, there is no tears, there is no pain. Lions and sheep eat grass together, and you can go pet them and ride them and give them piggyback rides and play leapfrog with them. It sounds pretty cool to me, but that is the overwhelming message. Kanye has said proudly that he doesn't read books. He's never read a book. That's probably why he's stupid about a lot of things like a Christian Judeo God running this world in Hollywood. I'm not saying anything about Hollywood. I'm not saying anything bad about the kingdom of the world, except that the Bible says God is not running those. That's why the suffering exists that does. The Bible also says that woe unto him who causes others to go off track. And I think his comments do that. They paint a incredibly false picture of God that isn't in line with the Bible. Now, I know other people have different gods. Their views might say that he runs this, he runs Hollywood, he runs Bollywood, he runs the Mexican movie theaters, all that shit. I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying what the Bible says, and when Kanye talks about God, he seems to be speaking of a Judeo-Christian God, and he's wholly wrong on what he's saying. The other reason I didn't like Kanye, besides just this really bad energy, was him trying to call himself Jesus, trying to be a God himself. And that's what I think led Satan to become Satan. He wanted to be his own God. And I think that's how he was able to tempt Adam and Eve. That's another story in throughout the Bible. I think there was this discussion that I was having in the chats of Adam and Eve, and after much thought, I thought, well, my understanding is that when Satan appealed to them, he was telling them, if you eat this, you'll know everything like God does. You'll be like God. And so there's this desire in people to be gods. Politicians, people want to be gods. And I try to stay away from those people. And Kanye was one of them. And I think what he said today about God running the world and God running Hollywood was entirely not in line with Bible teachings. He might worship another God. He might worship Satan. And that's not to say, again, people there worship Satan. It's just to say he's wrong, and it made me react strongly to hear something so contrary to what is taught in the Bible. And so I had to call it out. I hope you guys have a good one.